Okay, let's start like analyzing some references from movies and understand the theory of transforming. And before doing that, let's see what is happening in actual real world. So here I got a toy of the Bone Crusher. When you think about like transform of the toy in real world, of course, like all parts in the vehicle is going to be used in the robot as well. Like here we have a wheel and this goes around somewhere here or somewhere here. All parts are being used in the robot because, there's physics. So to illustrate this is what is happening. It's really simple. So like all parts in the vehicle is using a robot and all parts in the robot is being used in the vehicle as well, which is very simple. But when you think about like transform in CGI or VFX, you can do a lot of cheatings because you can ignore physics. So, ultimately, you don't have to use any parts in the vehicle in the robot. You don't have to use any parts in the robot in the vehicle. This is very useful because, the like body of the vehicle is mostly really clean. For example, when you think about sports car, when you think about truck, when you think about like military vehicle, of course there is like dirt and dust on it. But like if you use just the parts from the vehicle as it is, robot will be very clean and it doesn't look like warrior. So the robot more need to be like dirty and vehicle more should be really clean. So like cheating is really like helpful for artists to make a good contrast of them. So okay, let's analyze some references from movies. Here we got a transform scene from Transformers: Dark of the Moon. When Laserbeak is transforming into some kind of robot. See, there's a bird and then bird transforming into this robot. But as you may notice that there is no pink armor parts in this bird mold. There's no like bird parts in the robot mode. So I guess it's like, any parts in the vehicle is not used in the robot, and any parts in the robot is not used. Is not used in this beast mode. That's why, we can create something like this kind of really cool animation. What is happening here is robot parts appears like behind the bird, behind these wings as it moves, and then like the parts of the bird disappears as it like when it go behind these road parts. Cool. So to illustrate this, what is happening is something like this. The parts of the vehicle and the parts of the robot are like completely different. So what you have to do is you have to prepare two models, like vehicle and robot, and then, like for example, if you want to transform a vehicle into robot, you just need to hide this robot inside the vehicle, and as the robot stands up, you just need to hide all parts of the vehicle. When, for example, when parts get behind the leg, I don't know, like for example, these parts, when these parts go behind this body, you can just disable the visibility. That is like kind of basic transform theory in the movies and in VFX. But there's a couple like exceptions, or let's have a look at that. Okay, here we got a really cool transform of Optimus Prime from Dark of the Moon. You know, in the toy, in the real world, the arm of the Optimus Prime is always hidden underneath the front parts around here. So, you know, the arm should come out from sorry, the arm should come from inside here like this, but actually it's not happening. The arm actually like comes from somewhere around here, which is like, you know, middle part of the vehicle. So maybe arm is like being hidden somewhere. Oh, sorry. Somewhere around this window. Maybe. Not 100% sure. But you know, it still has like red armors with wire pattern on it. And you know, I thought like, okay, so maybe this like front armor will be used in the like armor of the chest, but it's not. So let's have a look. Yeah, here we have like front parts. We still have front parts, and then this goes inside the body of the Optimus Prime. And then yeah, I thought it's gonna be like the armor parts of the chest or somewhere, but it's going to inside the body, and the actual chest parts comes from like under the frame, and then the bigger parts go inside the body, and then it disappears. So it's following the, you know, transform route that I showed you, something like this. The parts in the robot is not using sorry, parts of the vehicle is not using the robot, and the parts in the robot is not using the vehicle. But if you look at the like first like time frames, you will notice that we have a really like couple like cool panel cut here. Some it's not good. Maybe good. Yeah, we have like panel cut like this on the front parts of the vehicle. But you know, if we have like panel cut on the vehicle, what is going to happen in render is, I guess, there will be like weird flicker on the reflection. So I think we shouldn't have that panel line on the vehicle mode. So I guess what is happening here is something like this. So we have vehicle mode, and also we have robot mode, and those two are using completely different parts. And also we have a vehicle mode with panel lines. So like first of all, like, you know, this vehicle is going to be replaced by the vehicle which has more like panel patterns on it. And then this vehicle with panel pattern is going to be replaced by the robot. Then, you know, it should work. I mean, it's really complicated, but otherwise, like, you know, when you do render of the vehicle, there will be weird panel line on the reflection, which is not here, I guess. So yeah, this is like another example. So let's have a look at other stuff. Here we got another Optimus Prime transform from the Dark of the Moon. Yeah, here we can see a couple of panel patterns on the front parts of the vehicle. Yeah, we have a couple of panel patterns like this, maybe green's better, like this, and then all parts of the vehicle go inside the body, and then it disappears. It's going inside the body somewhere and disappears, and then robot parts just appears. Okay, but what if the camera is really close to the robot? I think there's not much room for you to do cheating. So yeah, here we got a Bumblebee transform scene from the ending part of the Dark of the Moon. Yeah, this is really close shot, so it might be really challenging stuff. Yeah, actually it looks like, for example, this front parts, big front parts here is used in both robot and vehicle. Yeah, it looks like there is no replacement. But if you have a look at carefully, you will notice something. As I said like before, the vehicle parts should be really clean, and then robot parts should be really dirty. And around here, the vehicle part is still clean. It's still clean. Yeah, it's really clean. But when these parts go out of the frame, and here, it get dirty. Yes, which means like it was replaced by the parts from the robot. But yeah, because the timing is really nice, I think audience won't notice it. Cool. Yeah, if you look at the one on the one on the next to it, this one, yeah, I think this frame, we are still seeing the bigger parts, but as time goes, yeah, it maybe it's like goes into the inside the body, and then replaced by the parts of the robot here, which is a bit dirty. And around here, you will notice that if you look at somewhere around here, these parts is still using the big parts, which is a bit clean. And here, we have the parts from the robot, which is dirty. So it's really, the time when you are seeing both parts from big and robots around the same position. Let's see another one. Yeah, this guy here, the transformer scene from Transformers Ride on the Beast. Yeah, when the main character meet Autobot team, and then I think the first time for Bumblebee transform in this movie. Yeah, as you play the video, the front part is still clean, which means like we are still using the parts of the vehicle. But as time goes, it gets very dirty here, which means the parts was replaced by the parts from the robot. Maybe, I guess, I don't know, somewhere around here. In the robot parts, we have like these black stripes on it, and the bigger parts we don't have the black stripes. So maybe, yeah, here we are still using the bigger parts, and then maybe it was replaced around somewhere here, I guess. Yeah, it's moving a little bit. Cool. Okay, that is the last. Oh yeah, we still have one more. This is the transformer scene of the Optimus Prime from Rise of the Beast. And if you look at like final second, if you have a look at carefully on this, the window panel, there is a lot of dot. We still have like a lot of dot on it, which means we are seeing the window panel from the robot. But if you let time goes like frame by frame, at some point it's dirty. At some point it will be really clean. Here, which means the parts is being replaced by the parts from vehicle. Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Okay, so I think now the theory of the logic theory or the logic of the transformer in the VHX is a bit clear. In our masterclass, we are going to go with really simple one. This one, we are going to just replace all parts with a robot. So we need to prepare the vehicle model and the robot model, and we are going to hide the robot inside the vehicle, and then we are going to animate robot like transforming from inside the vehicle, and then as it goes, we're gonna hide all parts of the vehicle, and then everything will be done in 3D, obviously. Okay, cool. Hopefully this was really helpful for you. And okay, see you in week 2.